love story song, a triumph and a glory song, with only one small caveat. This one hasn't happened yet. It's not the strongest narrative, but details aren't imperative. What matters is the way it ends. And they've got 16 mutual friends. He's got animal spirits, and he's got heartfelt lyrics. Put them together, you can do it. Song everyone knows. Now everyone seems unaware that these two are a destined pair. But I checked out their astral chart. This one is a work of art. Now I know she reads astrology, and he can't stand astrology, but he's quick with an apology when he wisecracks the zodiac. And he's got animal spirits, and he's got heartfelt lyrics. Put them together and you can hear it. Song everyone knows. And he's got animal spirits, and he's got heartfelt lyrics. Put them together and you can hear it. Right as the beat goes. Oh, whoa, whoa. And when the rising action rises, there is only one thing left, and that's the climax.
Hey everyone, I hope all of you are doing well and staying safe. Welcome to the Women Techmakers Jalandhar IWD celebrations. I am Shivram Shastri from GDG WTM Jalandhar team. Right now I am at Hyderabad working at a taxation-based startup.
Hello everyone, I'm Ashwani Kumar and from GDG Jalandhar, and I'm going live today from Jalandhar city only.
Today we are here to celebrate International Women's Day celebrations, which is supposed to happen on March 8. This event as a community we are celebrating today. Today, we are having a great set of speakers to share their knowledge. As a community, we have hosted multiple events and meetups to support women and uplift them.
Yes, Shivram. To support the women and diversity, we hosted multiple meetups and events like DevFest, Tech Day, Google I/O, and one of the most important, that is Together We Rise. So, talking about Together We Rise, we started the initiative especially for women in our community. So it was a 6-month initiative, especially for women in our community, where they got the chance to learn, to grow and share their knowledge. We got the 70 plus registration for the women, and in which the 40 plus women actively participated in this initiative. And we got the really amazing feedback for this initiative as the participant, and some of them also took the few sessions in the past of the IWD Jalandhar. So one of them I want to share, that is Parvi Agarwal. So let's hear directly from her about her amazing journey as she actively participated in this initiative throughout the event.
Hello everyone, this is Parvi Agrawal. I was part of this initiative that is Together We Rise, and this was taken by WTM Jalandhar, and this was a fantastic journey of mine of 6 months. And in this 6 months we had one meetup each month, which was based on technical topic, non-technical topic. Also we had sessions on personal branding, how to enhance your self-confidence, and about self-defensing, especially for the females who want to enhance their skills, who want a better career. So yeah, and also I met different girls. I met fantastic girls in this journey, and they supported me a lot. They encouraged me a lot. Everyone was so positive, I can say. This was a perfect example for positive surrounding. I surrounded myself with the people who are supporting, who are so positive with each other, who are learning. I can say I have grown myself by uplifting others too. And after this initiative, I've seen a change in myself. Like, I'm much more confident than before in front of crowd. Like, I was very afraid of talking with unknown people, but after joining this initiative, I met many girls like me. So, we together have overcome our fear, and we encouraged each other, we supported each other, and now we all can see a change in ourselves. Like, we all are more confident than before.
Wow, that's really very inspiring, Parvi. Thank you very much for sharing your journey with us. We are really so inspired to do much more initiatives like this by seeing people like you. With this, based upon the tremendous response and collective feedback from the Together We Rise participants like Parvi and community members, we are here together to announce our upcoming initiative, Together We Build. Together We Rise is an initiative to bring confidence in the women participants. Now, Together We Build is a new initiative to help women in the community who are interested to start their career in tech. Through various tech sessions, we will be taking this initiative throughout the upcoming months. This particular initiative is where we will be training the community members, especially females, by hosting a 2-hour meetup on every second and fourth Sunday of every month by providing training, opportunity to speak, and resources to grow. So these are the various activities we are planning for Together We Build. Stay tuned to us at WTM Jalandhar Twitter handle to know more about the Together We Build initiative and the registration process.
It's really great, Shivram, to hear about the Together We Build initiative that has to be taken. So let's just discuss about the theme that we are taking in this IWD Jalandhar 2022. So this year we are coming up with the theme of progress, not perfection. So this year we are celebrating all kind of progress, whether that is small or big. We are celebrating the freedom to try up the new things and making the mistakes and learning from that. So meanwhile, we are proceeding further with the sessions, so the participants can comment down their achievements, so that we will be love to hear about their achievements too.
With this, we are immensely gratified with all the constant support and love that we have received from all these amazing people. But there are many heroes who have been the great addition in the community and have devoted their best to uplift others. I would like to take a moment to thank each of them for supporting us and uplifting others. Thank you, Prerana. Thank you, Sonakshi. Thank you, Surbhi. Thank you, Varsha. Thank you, Ishita. Thank you, Pramod. Thank you, Bhaskar. Thank you, Nitika. Thank you, Sanjana. Pardon me if I miss anyone. With this, we have an agenda for this today's event. As you all know, we are packed with a lot of upcoming sessions which are having great resources and great knowledge to share. Firstly, we have a keynote speaker, Tanvi Somani from Google. Next, we have web accessibility session by Sonakshi Shukla. And then we have material use session by Bachu Trishna. And we also have Firebase for Flutter session by Nikita Gandhi. And we have crafting a compelling resume session by Lakshya Shivramakrishnan. And we also have I am Remarkable session workshop by Varsha Jaiswal.
So let's just go through the code of conduct and the guidelines through which is very important to know. So the very first one is be nice, respectful, and constructive while interacting on the live chat. Do not post anything if they are adult content, rude or offensive statement. Do not advertise or promote anything. Do not spam. Harassment of any kind is not tolerated in this event, and failing to do this code, you will be blocked from interacting on the chat. And if you find anything inappropriate, you can directly report to gdgjalandhar@gmail.com.
With this, we are all set for the today's event, and I am heartily welcoming our first keynote speaker, Tanvi Somani. She is a program manager at Google, and today she is here to take the keynote session with all the amazing content. Over to you, Tanvi.
Hi everyone, how are you all doing today? So, before we get started, I would like to share a bit about my journey so far. My name is Tanvi. I am a program manager on the developer relations team managing the Google Developer Student Club program in India. I'm very glad to meet all of you and look forward to an engaging and active conversation today. So, here's a bit about my journey. I'm a commerce graduate and hold a postgraduate degree in MBA. I got my first job, the title of which both the areas I was looking for, marketing consultant. My interest in tech and media landed me a role with the ads team at Google. Hereafter, I wanted to be closer to the audience that mattered the most. And what better than working with developers? I couldn't have asked for a better team than being a part of developer relations team at Google that brings impact from the roots of our ecosystem. Okay, so that was about me. Now, before I set the agenda of the day, I would like to show a few pictures and want you to tell me who's the first person, a man, a woman, a non binary, that come to your mind when you see them. Say, who do you imagine filling up your car, filling up the petrol in your car, bikes, or scooters, or giving you a ticket in a bus, or checking your tickets in the train, or driving an auto for you, and taking you from one place to the other, or even delivering your favorite food, clothing, or any other orders that you've done. Most of us, I would imagine, are thinking of men being doing these various jobs and providing you these great services. This is a very common phenomena in most of the jobs. Labor intensive jobs see less women participating in them. But that trend is not just in that area. We also see that in the desk jobs. As per statistics, women are also still well represented in certain sectors such as health, social services, and education. However, they are underrepresented in other sectors, such as professional, scientific, financial, and technical services. Women also face barriers in advancing into leadership roles. And what you see here in the picture is a percentage representation of women in various levels of the workforce. In the early careers, we do see that close to equal representation is there. However, as you go up the ladder, the representation starts to diminish significantly at leadership levels. While the first chart that you see is most about the trend in the developed countries, but India is nowhere further. It's even at a worse situation. Women constitute to about 48% of our population. However, women account for only 20% of the total labor workforce in India. And of that, 13.8% women account for board directors, and just 3.7% are CEOs or managing directors of some listed companies. It's not a very good statistics to see, given that we represent an equal representation of the overall population that we have. While there could be various reasons for this res- for this basically like restrictive cultural norms regarding women at work or the gender wage gap, increase in the time spent for for women to continue their education, or even sometimes lack of safety policies. and flexible work offerings. But before I proceed ahead, I want you to engage in the chat and share your thoughts and ideas about what do you believe are the potential reasons for this disparity. Please use the chat box to type your answers. So, mentality about women in India. Yeah, I mean, definitely we should be working on that. Okay. Um, as we interact, like some of you must be thinking now, there is a lot of gender bias and stereotyping associated with that problem. That brings in the barrier to work. If we were to look at these aspects, there are several aspects that are essential to consider when categorizing the factors of gender bias and stereotyping. It could be about individual factors like physical and demographic differences, where differences may take place because of some characteristics such as color, race, age, nationality, marital status, education, upbringing, individuals who have particular norms. So basically, values which happen to define them. It could also be some of these cognitive factors like categorization of information, where employees tend to evaluate women candidates in a different way. They have their own gender bias and they assess the skills in a different manner, which sometimes hamper the progress of women employees. Family upbringing, where girls and boys are probably treated differently by the parents itself. Um, a boy may be sent to a school for education, but sometimes girls are told to study from home. These are some of the experiences in the past of discrimination that they've gone through. There could also be some socio-cultural factors where gender stereotype is prevalent, like a patriarchal society, social system, or to maintain that dominance by men. In some cases, the society may expect women to play a role of taking care of the household. And lastly, there also are various organizational factors such as the recruitment, the promotion processes, the culture of the organization that influence the development of these stereotypes. Women are also sometimes perceived as emotional and intuitive decision makers, or many a times the type of role availability is also characterized to bringing a bias in the people. Like part-time jobs may be assigned to mothers. People may take up these low roles where they believe there is less opportunity to succeed, and so on and so forth. These are differences that are embedded in people's brain and minds deeply because of some of the society's growth, reflecting in the difference in role of men and women. If I were to share some statistics from the India region, women in India are highly invested in household activities. They bear an unfair burden of these activities and are not on the top of it valued for it. Indian women, on an average, spend about 5 hours per day on the domestic and caregiving needs, as opposed to men spending about 30 to 40 minutes. This is not a generalization, but this is what broadly looks as per the statistics. There are also situations where gaps are there in financial inclusion. Social norms or lack of financial literacy also constrain sometimes women from using a bank account or having that independence to have an o- to be able to own their own money. Sharing these responsibilities and giving financial literacy can still bring in that equality and sense of financial identity for women. We've also seen that digital access has seen a skewed approach in this journey. In India, a large proportion of women have remained cut off from one of the largest technological revolutions of the time. Mobile and internet access still remains lowest across the globe for Indian women. Around 12% of women do not use internet due to negative perception, and 8% lack the acceptance by the family members. By providing this equal access to digital technology, that can be a great equalizer in bridging the gap. There are also situations in the education system that we see where Addressing the preference in favor of men and rather empowering women with education is critical challenge for the Indian economy. The digital divide and automation of clerical jobs make it even more difficult for women to transition to jobs that require higher education and technical skills. Women face additional hurdles in undertaking any of the vocational training programs or any other opportunities that are available, sometimes also because of lack of infrastructure or availability of women friendly trainers. Despite we have one of the highest share of female STEM graduates, their participation in these domains of science, engineering, and technology research institutes is only 14%. Females also comprise of 50% of the class of these fields, but the share goes down to about 30% in the workforce. So we see this divide while they start at a good percentage, there is a good drop off rate in the journey as they move into the workforce ecosystem. Before we see what we may do to address these concerns, it is also important to brainstorm why we should do them in the first place. So I'd like to hear from some of you. Um, why is it important to drive this inclusion? Why do you think we should strive for women equality? Please use the chat to share your ideas and thoughts. Why do you feel it's important to for what we are here today and what why we should be driving this inclusion? Yes, Yassine, I agree. The societal norms generally lack, and there is lack of awareness as well. That's true. We should have benefits and flexible working opportunities for women as well. So maybe, like you mentioned, maternity leaves and other opportunities as well. Okay. So I hope you all agree with me in this. Women are definitely required in all of the sectors, be it IT or life sciences. Women bring a unique perspective to work and research, making it very rich and broad conversation to be more inclusive. Being one of those primary consumers of all of these retail products in the household, we bring in that first hand experience and feedback of the products. We also bring in that orientation to process and detail by also bringing in learning agility. Women can also bring in perspectives like mental, social, and emotional well-being by keeping them on the top, which may sometimes be ignored as well. They look at relationships with employees and vendors instead of just sales numbers. For a startup and an ecosystem, e-commerce startup, women can bring different perspective and build more inclusivity in that fast-paced organization. Women are underrepresented at all the levels of global financial systems, from depositors to borrowers of money from the bank, to being on the board members or the regulators. However, I truly believe women can definitely be better risk managers. They can help in bringing financial stability, and they can bring fresher ideas if they are all as part of those boards as well. Being a knowledge intensive industry, they can definitely benefit even the telecom industry with the workforce diversity. Um, if we think about the automotive industry, it involves a cross section of roles, from design to manufacturing to sales, marketing, communications. Women can be a great candidate for that sector as well. They bring in a combination of creativity, dependability, problem solving attitude, communication, and aptitude for cost training. So if you look into overall the picture, there are all different shades with all different varieties and experiences that a woman can bring in the conversation to bring that inclusivity and diversity. So it's to us to bring that overall diversity, to bring innovative thinking, divergent point of views, and fresh perspectives. I'm going to share an example with you now. A woman some of you may relate to and may know as well. I'm not sure how many of you know her. If you do, please put in a word in the chat saying I know her. I've read about her, and I've been following her. Share your ideas and thoughts in there. But she is Vinita Bali, a former managing director at Britannia Industries Limited. Currently, she is engaged in various combination of corporate and other board activities, where within India and outside, she looks into these selective adversaries, works with NGOs, and gives more details about nutrition and art foundations. Um, but in this journey of hers, she set up a new trend in every role she's done. She was the first women manager when she started at Cadbury India in 1980s. She was also the first female division president of Coca-Cola Company based in the Latin America. She was also the first female professional managing director or CEO of an FMCG company like you can see for Britannia Industries. And she strongly believes gender has no contribution in any way in her effectiveness in proving her in these various roles that she's been part of. What has really mattered in this journey for her is her education, skills, experience, perspective that she brings, the initiatives that she leads, the attitude and the strength of her character. However, she does not undervalue the importance of having this diversity and definitely understands that as a demographic, women in general have more odds against them and have to work harder at everything. Because in a society like ours, there are expectations like schoolgirls are expected to share household works with their mothers, and that does not change even if they are in full time roles. While the responsibility for creating an equitable society has to be shared by all, the epicenter of it has to be from the family. The learning, the institutionalization, and all of the setting of the base of a person has to start from their family learnings and the values that are set in that culture. For her, she feels very blessed and says that what has worked for her is having that resilient father, actually a supportive family who gave her the freedom and allowed her to pursue her passion and explore the opportunities that came her way. So now let's see what we shall or can be doing about it. I want to hear from you on how we can together make an impact. We so far understood there are challenges. We understood it's still important to bring in all of the inclusivity, but how we can do it together. Do some of you want to share some ideas in the chat? As you are writing in, I'd like to share more about what I feel would make a difference. Um, so I believe it is education that can drive as the biggest solution to avoid the seed of stereotypes to be even sown. Within schools, the role of teachers and at home for the parents becomes essential when they are providing quality gender neutral education that promotes students' welfare and respect for the professional standards. So we should question all of the stereotypes that may come as normal but are social constructions. Ignore any criticism while addressing equality issues and have more hands join in this journey because the more people that are involved in this type of education, the more effective it will be. Reinforce children with their preferences, regardless of whether they fit into the conventional norms or not. From an early age, we can promote those gender neutral toys or games, include boys and girls both in the educational projects, collaborate and bring education for families, and guide them towards a behavior of equality. Treating boys and girls the same way without any discrimination, I believe, will definitely help us come a long way in this journey by solving the problem from the roots of this ecosystem. And this is not just it. The gap is wide and large. So it is important to support women through her career. There is a need to support them with reskilling, upskilling, and counseling them to their way back to come back on their track of their goals. Bringing equality in domestic and caregiving needs, recognizing that work, uh, bringing a change in the mindset to drive that equality, challenging the stereotypes and promoting this diverse representation of women, bringing stronger equality-based workflow force policies, and most importantly, having men as allies. These are initiatives not just to be driven by women, but there has to be an equal participation, contribution, and support by the men in this journey. Men have to be equal advocates and champions of this change. They have to work in giving the due credit. They have to be patient to listen without any assumptions, be vocal of any inequality they see, share the domestic and parenting duties or the caregiving responsibilities, and lead by an example. With that, we already see this change coming in. And I saw some of you did mention it early in the chat. Um, we are seeing women are taking up jobs that are defying standard gender stereotypes. We must continue to build this inclusive culture by encouraging personal development, learning, and dialogue that addresses bias, power, and privilege. This will ultimately build tolerance, allow for direct and open feedback, and in the end, build trusting relationships that will last for long. I just share, I just share a quick news clipping that I came across in the Times of India. This is the news from Uttarakhand, where many women are now taking up jobs in the areas considered a man's domain, from being attendants of petrol pumps to being bus conductors that defying all of these standard norms. So, with that, I'm at the end of my presentation, but I'd like to wrap up by saying let's together work to build a world where there's equity, diversity, and inclusion. And not just gender based equality, but providing equal opportunities to all, irrespective of their caste, color, creed, or difference in the level of their knowledge. Let's bring everybody together. Let's together progress towards a world where not only one day, but every day is a Women's Day, Men's Day, Children's Day, Environment Day. Everything is celebrated every day, where we work towards creating an ecosystem that is fair and equitable. We need to come forward and take bold steps to foster this equity and fairness. Pay attention to equality of opportunities, reward the behavior of inclusiveness, and that are truly interested in growth and development of all, irrespective of the gender. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening, and you have amazing line of speakers bringing you tech learning, fun activities, and the I'm Remarkable workshop. So get ready for a good time and enjoy the session. Thank you.
It was amazing listening to you, Tanvi. Thank you very much for sharing your valuable words with our audience. We feel energetic and enthusiastic towards your words about diversity and inclusion and gender equality. Also, I love to contribute to the community. The best part is the best part is it makes me learning something new every day and feel knowledgeable. What is you are learning from the community? Do share your experiences in the comment section. Without further delay, I would like to invite our next speaker. She's been a girl with high spirit and full of motivation. Our former WTM ambassador. She is a front-end developer at Magashian. She is none other than Sonakshi Shukla. Welcome, Sonakshi. Over to you.
Hi, thank you so much for the warm welcome. A very good evening to everyone. My name is Sonakshi and I have been part of GDG Jalandhar since several years. It's a pleasure for me to share this stage with such a dynamic speakers and wonderful listeners. I was waiting for this day for a long time where once again I will get the opportunity to share my knowledge and gain as well and really feel much obliged. I congratulate to each and every developers for upgrading their knowledge and making themselves more and more technical. So before going further, let's let's start the session with the overview. I will be talking about the what are the aspects of web accessibility, benefits of web accessibility, and how to make the web like how to make the easiest way to for the people to make the web accessible. And I will also inform you about the different terminology from where you can learn more about it. So let's start the discussion. In the fast growing world and a running time, we all rush to complete things and just accomplish the target by moving as fast as we can. But in the way of doing, we end up making a project that misses a few important aspects. Suppose if I'm a teacher of a quantum mechanics, though I was very bad in it, but still, for example, if I'm a teacher of quantum mechanics and my job is to teach student about the different problem and solution of a quantum mechanics, but while doing the process, there could be a possibility that my weakest students will not get the subject properly. So the ideal way of teaching should be simplified, solution oriented, and non complex so that everyone can understand. Web accessibility is making a website which is feasible for everyone. The inclusive practice of removing the barriers and prevent people interaction with the websites where people are with the disabilities also can access them. For example, as you can see, there are 5 circles where in the last 4 circles, finding the numbers is very difficult comparatively to the first circle where you can clearly read the numbers. Moreover, consider a metro station which is designed in such a way that a person with low or no visibility can also reach to the correct destination. If it's not in a such it's if it is not designed in such a manner, then probably a person with a good visibility also can mess the situation. Moreover, if I can say, there are 2 snapshots where you can find a web pages or in a mobile, which one is easier to read? Of course, the second one. Moving further, I would like to tell you about the benefits of web accessibility. Basically, increasing the client engagement, providing the technology which is easier to use and easier to customize, also made for larger audience. Our more important should like our more important aspect should be making the website feasible for everyone where everybody can access it, and finding the easiest solution so that people can log in, log out does not take much of the time to interact with the website or to understand the website, so that they can easily format it compatible with all the browsers and support to every technology. Moving further, you can see, for example, if I'm doing an online shopping and I'm on the payment page, so where I need to feed the card details. So which one is more convenient? Of course, the numeric one. QWERTY one can be difficult for somebody. Like finding the numbers, then writing the numbers can create it can at least take 1 to 2 seconds of yours. So, like making the things more easy for the user is major aspects of being a developer. Also, if I talk about how to make the web accessible, like designing a web which is more accessible, compatible is important, and making the some of the key parameters very prominent of on it should always be in mind. So if I talk about the key parameters are, it should be browser friendly, it should be compatible with any tech upgrade, the choice of font size, the color of the color should be appropriate. Like if the background is gray, the the text color shouldn't be in white color or in any dull color. It should be in a bright color so that any customer can easily can easily read it and follow the process. And also the most important aspect is the text and the speech support. It basically, if I talk about the most important thing, is it should break the complex problem and find the easiest solution for every one of us. Moving further, I just wanted to talk about the assistive technology. What are the assistive technology? Assistive technology is a technology used by individual with difficulties in order to perform functions that might face difficulties to other some of the people. So making the easiest solution, like if I can say Amazon, Amazon Echo, Siri, or Alexa, these all are the assistant which made many of our problems very easier. If I talk about there are the some images, if it does not open, still there are the some text field written below the images, so you can read the text and you can understand what the image was all about. Yeah, so just to quote some facts, there are 8.1 million people who really face vision difficulties. I cannot say I cannot say people are blind or cannot see it, but there are also probability that they cannot see the small size font size, or they cannot see the blurry images, or the images or the text font or the color. Basically making the combination of each and everything should be very appropriate to make a website very accessible. What is WCAG standards? Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. It is the most important guidelines which is followed for making the website accessible. It provides the recommendation for making the web content more accessible. There are the four principles which are perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. Perceivable means perceiving the content, like giving the content the audio or the text format which could be feasible for each and every kind of audience. Operable means like some people use keyboard, some might use speech recognition software, or some use different way to access the website. So it should be operable in every environment, not specific to any single environment. Understandable basically means design the website in such a way that anyone or everyone can understand it. Robust means it should be browser friendly. Like if I talk about Safari, if I talk about Chrome, Firefox, it should be feasible on each and every platform. Moving further, yeah, so you will ask me that, yeah, we understand that what all aspects are there which should be there in the website for making the website accessible for everyone, but how to check whether the website is accessible or not? So if you want to check the accessibility of any website, so basically there is a feature called Lighthouse. It's the inbuilt feature in Google Chrome browser. You just need to open the website and go to the developer tools, navigate to the audit, and then move further. You will find a box where it is written Lighthouse. Click on it and generate the report. You will get the accessibility report of any website. And also, moreover, I would like to tell you that you will also get to understand that which all aspects did not match to the WSAC standard. I mean to say, which all aspect does not match to the standard where everybody can access this. Like if there will be any blur, like if I say if there will be any difficulties in the font size, that accessibility will generate it. That Lighthouse will generate the report about it. If there will be any image which is not very clear, or the text present in the image is not appropriate. So the report will definitely give you answer where it is written that yeah, this is not appropriate, kindly change it, or like use something which is clearly visible. If you want to read more about it, like how to make a website accessible, and like there are different format for following the or for making the website accessible. So there are the few links which you can definitely note it down and go through it, and try to make your website friendly for everyone, so that yeah, making the website is, of course, it's I can say it's a bigger task, but making the website is accessible, making the website friendly for everybody is more important, so that everybody can access it and does not take much of the time even to find the login button. I have seen many websites where like if I open the website, finding the login page or the logout page at least takes 2 to 3 seconds. So making the website feasible, making the website understandable and friendly, audience friendly is more important. So thank you so much. It was really pleasure and wonderful experience to meet you all, and looking forward to have such sessions more again and again. And really, I really feel great being part of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sonakshi, for sharing your astonishing thoughts and motivating us to use accessibility features in our projects. Without further delay, now I am introducing our next speaker. You probably know her. She is none other than Trishna. She is a designer at Judash. With lots of creativity and exploring new things each day is her passion. Over to you, Trishna.
Hello everyone, I'm Trishna, a designer at Google. Sorry, I'm a designer at Judash. I've been a part of GDG Jalandhar since 2020. Before jumping to the design material you, let's understand about design. So, designer is a Latin word in which the design has been derived from. So it means to draw a plan. When building products, we design them to see what it looks and how it functions. Right? So for whom are you building? It's for people. It's for us to make our lives easier. In this era, one can use smartphone with minimum knowledge for the basic purposes, right? So why does design play a crucial role? For example, if you were given some data with lots of numbers, it's quite hard to understand what those numbers are. And so if it is designed with infographics, you can understand it easily that what those numbers actually mean, and that too in a very few seconds. So that means design is another way of communication. It makes it easier to understand complex problems or complex solutions in a simple manner. It allows us to think differently. Who thought that we can watch videos without clicking on them on YouTube? People empathize with what they interact with in their daily basis, in their day to day life. Design can make them feel something different. Oftentimes, people are unable to express what they feel while interacting with their own devices or any gadgets. Design can also make our life easier. so that we can prioritize the most important things in our life. For example, smartphones. It totally changed the way we communicate. We can talk to our family and stay connected even miles apart. We can use it for educational purposes while while sitting at your couch in your comfort zone. Now, talking about material design, Google created a system that is a design system called material design. So, it is a guide to building high quality digital experiences for Android, web, and Flutter, including hierarchy, grids, layouts, so that everyone can easily build the applications that they want to solve, or that they want to build, so that they can solve the people's, or that they can solve the most important problems that are there in the world right now. Now we know about material design. Hopping on to the material U. So it's an updated version of material design with a humanistic approach to design. What the humanistic approach means: personalizing the user experience as an individual. But why the need for it? We interact with our devices on daily basis, and sometimes it's it feels robotic that we have to customize our mobile settings so that we can feel better. With Material You, we can have personal experience with our devices, that too with minimal settings. Just changing your wallpaper can totally change the theme of your phone. Awesome, right? UI interacts to this UI reacts to the screen, making it more alive and human. And also, one size fits all is a myth. But what if we can customize it? Material U lets us customize, control our settings too, making us a part of the controller. So, want to know more about design? Just hop onto these resources so that you can kickstart your journey with the design. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Krishna, for your amazing insights about Material U. We definitely try to explore Material U. Now, the main part for which a lot of people are waiting, all of you are ready? Any guesses? What is the upcoming activity or upcoming uh, session? Any guesses? Okay, let's reveal. It is none other than icebreaker activity. So this is the activity where you can have some fun and win some swags. So we will be mentioning the link in the comment section. Go to that particular website, Slido, and enter the code. So we this activity will be around 10 minutes. So go to the slido.com, or you can directly scan this QR directly from your mobile phone. Otherwise, go to slido.com and enter the code. So you can join the quiz. Come on, come on. We are running. Okay, how many of you are on? Let me check. Wow, we have our first participant, Kartikeya Singh. Come on, guys. Okay, we have a lot of people. Pranav, Mohit, Sunidhi, Jaswin. Cool. Okay, come on, guys. We have swags. Join in the fun activity. Enjoy the quiz. I wish I could participate. I am here, ready with scanner. Cool. Suraj Mani. Wow, great. Okay, guys, we are having only 10 minutes. Please join. Okay, so we have Rohit, Rajesh, Harshita Sharma. Guys, I wish I could participate. I am missing my name over there. Okay, who is STU? Okay, please use your original names and email IDs. Then only we can reach out to you if you win the swags. Okay, we have Swapnil, Pradesh, Mehul, Mohit. Great, great. Okay, Varsha, you are eligible, but you are not eligible at this moment. Okay, guys, do we start or are you uh, calling any of your friends also? Okay, we are here with Saurav, Rajesh. Okay, questions are coming on the way, Swapnil. Once everyone joins, then we will be starting the questions. Because timing is very less for every question, so it will be like first come, first win. Shall I start? Can we have any countdown? Guys, mention in the chat. Any countdown to start? Okay. 10. Okay, now we are having more participants. Sai Jagadish, Jay, Pavi Agarwal. Oh, Pavi, you joined. Okay. Next, Pradesh, Rajesh. Okay, questions. How the questions will be? Most of you people are asking me. So questions will be like there will be image, and you need to find what exactly that image or logo means. So maybe it can be a Google product, maybe it can be something else. So see the logo and guess what it is and select the right option. We have various products and various logos on the way. Okay, Rohit. Okay, one go. Okay. Just a couple of seconds, guys. Okay, let me scan myself. I could participate, maybe. Okay, let's start. Oh, what is the first question? Guess the Google product. Oh, this seems to be very weird. Options are Android Wear OS, Android Auto, Android Rocket, Android Trial. Oh, we are out of time. Okay, we have a lot of answers for Android Auto. Yes, that's right. And next question. Guess the Google product. Okay, again we have Google product. Google Surface, Chromium, Google Wave, Google Earth. It's very tough, guys. Is it Surface? Yeah. So basically, we have Chromium, which is like used by our Chrome browser. Okay, a lot of answers for Google Earth. So Google Earth is basically like where you can see all the Google Maps explore from your own device, and you can go anywhere within seconds just by scrolling down the Earth. I wish we could see Mars also one day on Google Earth. Cool. Okay, we have a lot of answers for Google Earth. Okay, so the next question is okay, same again, Google product. It is Google Fiber, Google Charts, Analytics, or Wi-Fi. Seems to be. Let's guess. It can be fiber or Wi-Fi. I don't know. Okay, a lot of answers for Google Analytics. Yes, that's right. Google Analytics basically used for to count the like number of users for your particular website, and you can also get to know how much traffic you are acquiring from which particular region you are acquiring. So these all things can be known by using this particular product, Google Analytics. That's really awesome, right? You can get real-time data easily without any further action by yourself, just including Google Analytics for your website. That's great. Wow. What's this? Is this Google I/O? I/O. Google I/O. Okay. Maybe Google Fonts, maybe Google Domain, maybe Google Fit. Google Fit. I used to have it, but I don't think. Let's see the answers. Oh, a lot of answers for Google I/O, but the right answer is Google Domain. So tricky, right? Even I was like astonished. I thought it is Google I/O first. Okay, Google Domains basically where you can go and search for the available domains, and you can buy online and set up there. So Google Domains is the one of the best one if you want to purchase any domain for your upcoming project. You can go there and you can explore various domains. Okay, what's our next question? Okay, this is something like Google Alphabet, Google Font, Google Design, Google AdMob. Very confusing options here. Lot of answers for Google AdMob, and that's right. So Google AdMob basically used for your Google advertisements for your products. So ad campaigns basically. So this AdMob is particularly used for that particular campaigns and advertisements and all. Cool. So a lot of people know the right answer. Oh, guess the Android version. Where is the image? Where is the image? Maybe Maybe there is some loading issue with the image. This is my favorite question. See, there is sandwich, gingerbread, Kit Kat. Okay, this question is left to the organizers. Okay, Kit Kat, fine. But I don't think it is a Kit Kat, but let's see. Android sandwich. I couldn't see the image here, but it may be yes. And next we have Google Connect, Google Open Source, Google Ping, Google Chat. Okay. So the logo seems it is something like connecting or chat or ping or open source. Wow, the right option is Google Open Source, and lot of people are here with right answer. Great people. Amazing. I think this can be known to each and everyone. It should be 100% answer, right answer. I can't explain what it is. Okay, Google Summer of Code. Yes, it is, and it is on the way. It is an open source program by Google where anyone can participate and can be a part of the Google Summer of Code projects, and they can contribute to the open source, and they can also get some stipend. At the same time, they can get the experience like working on the original projects, like real-time projects. Yes, that's the right answer. That is none other than Google Summer of Code. This is something tricky. No image. How many characters are there in securing hashing algorithm? We are here with security question 128, 64, 32, 16. Let's see. Lot of answers for 128, but that's not, I guess. Let's see what is the right option. Possibility is there. It can be 32 or 64. What it might be, guys? Okay, I think there is some loading issue. Let me check. Okay, Amanpreet Kaur, it's 32. Yes, I guess it is 32. Oh, it's 64. Fine. Great. So 34% people went to 64. Great. And what initiative community is planning for future? This is question very simple, guys. Together we rise, together we build. Progress not perfection, courage to create. Progress not perfection. Together we rise, together we build. Courage to create. Come on, guys, you can do it. Come on. I wish I could be the participant. Yeah. Yes, it is together we build. Yeah, that's what I have announced. Yeah, before the Tanvi ma'am session. That's great. Lot of people are attentive today. That's great. Yes, together we build, where we will be helping the women participants to get started in tech career with various sessions. Like every month, there will be 2 sessions on the first week and on the second week and the fourth week. Sunday, we will be having 2-hour session on various technologies. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned to WTM Jalandhar. social media handle so that you will be updated with the latest information. Okay, we are the winners. We are having the Pradesh as a winner. That's great. Okay. Okay, the fastest thing is the timing. Based upon the timing, we will be deciding the winner. So Pradesh is the first winner. That's great. And we have Sri Lakshmi, who is S, dude. And we have Suraj and Jai Maldev. Okay. By the end of the session, we will let you know the further details about the swags and all. That's really great, guys. Thank you very much for participating and showing the enthusiasm towards this quiz. That's great. Cool. So, with this, we have finished our icebreaker activity, and now we are moving to our further session. Any guesses? Any guesses? I hope you have seen our Twitter and our social media handles about our agenda and all. So, this is the session that is Firebase for Flutter. We have Nikita Gandhi ma'am from Google. She is a community manager at Google, and she has given a lot of sessions about Flutter in the past in GDG Jalandhar, and we have learned a lot of things from her. Starting from the first session, I got introduced to Flutter by her session at one of the DevFest. I guess it is 2019 DevFest, and I am very glad to host her here today as a host. And over to you, ma'am.
Hey, hi everyone, and thanks Shivram for a warm welcome. It was not descriptive, but I really am glad to know that you were able to learn Flutter through one of the sessions I delivered in the past, and that's what makes me feel accomplished today. So, thank you for the great start, Shivram. And hi everyone, I hope you are enjoying this Sunday afternoon with your community. um, let's make this session a little more engaging. I know it's Sunday afternoon. Some of you may have a round of chole bhature in the afternoon, or some of you may be sipping lassi right now because I know it's really hot outside. So, quick show of hands, how many of you enjoy summers? Can we engage in the chat section? Uh, let's have a quick show of hands in the chat section. How many of you enjoy summers? Okay, I see. Varsha, sorry, Amanpreet doesn't like summers. Okay, and how many of you miss summer vacations from your school days? Remember those days where you could go to your uncle's place and meet with your cousins, play games, eat a lot of mangoes and watermelon? How many of you remember your old summer days? Jasween enjoys summers. Same here, Jasween. I really like summers. They are peaceful, quiet, and really, exciting because you can meet your cousins at the same time. Amanpreet misses her summers. Some Varsha likes it sometimes. Okay. Hey, Karthik. Really nice to see you here. And yeah, you might be wondering, I'm here to talk about Flutter and Firebase. But Firebase somehow reminds me of summer because it's so hot outside, and I'm wondering if I should still add fire to my Flutter application. But if you watch this session, listen to it carefully, I have something exciting to announce at the end of this session. So stay tuned. I'm going to share a little bit about what Flutter is, what Firebase is, and how you can manage the integration of Flutter with Firebase. How many of you know what is Flutter? Can we have a quick show of hands again in the chat section? How many of you know what is Flutter? You can just say I know in the chat section if you know what is Flutter. Hey, hi Suraj. Hi Gitesh. Hi Jay. Amanpreet knows Flutter. Okay. Anyone else who knows what Flutter is? Jay also knows what Flutter is. All right. Um, Mohit doesn't know what Flutter is, which is okay because I'm going to spend some time to tell you what Flutter is. I'm also going to tell you what Firebase is and then hop on to the conclusion of mixing Flutter with Firebase. Cool. Hi, Bachchu. Really nice to see you here. And hi, Abhishek. So, before that, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Nikita. I am from Pune, but currently working in Bangalore, the Silicon Valley of India. And I'm the community manager for the GDSC program in India. And I see Suraj, who's one of our leads, also joining us today. Hey, Suraj, really thankful for you to see here. And I'm from the Google's developer relations team. I have been associated with this team for the last 3 years. And really thankful to be here. Thanks to the organizers, Brijraj and Varsha, who have been kind enough to me to invite me to their events more oftenly than I would expect them to. And it's a great pleasure from offline events to virtual events. And now, while we are moving back to the normal phase, it's really nice. I have been associated with this community so closely. It almost feels like home when I speak at GDG Women Techmakers Jalandhar event. Before I tell you more about Flutter and Firebase, a quick round of intro about myself. So, I graduated from a women's college in Pune, Cummins College of Engineering for Women. I graduated as a software engineer. Thereafter, I joined two startups. I worked as a product head. My focus was on software development and evangelizing the product in the Indian market. I also launched two apps which were focused on helping students get started with programming. I also worked with a couple of corporates doing some security audit for them. And then I joined the Google's team into different capacities, right from a project coordinator to a community manager. I have been associated with Google for the last 3 years. I'm a family person. I have a joint family, and that's what makes me resilient to a lot of changes around me, to a lot of different types of people around me, and hence I enjoy talking to people all the time. I enjoy trekking. I have almost trekked to all forts in Maharashtra, and I hope I can travel across the world and trek to many other locations in the globe. I enjoy eating food. If this was an offline event, I almost had a deal with Varsha that we are going to go around the city and munch a lot of food. I really miss that, but I'm really hoping this is the year when I meet Vrij, Varsha in person, and then all the organizers, Bachu, Shivram, Bharat. I have been associated with them for the last 3 years, so hoping to meet them in person and go around the city. I'm a classical dancer. I have learned Bharatnatyam since the age of 8. I have appeared for two exams and cleared them with distinction and hoping to complete my diploma super soon. And I have been into research. I worked with IIT Bombay for 2 years for research projects. And I write blogs on Medium in my free time. More than 1 lakh viewers on the blog till date. I'm a national level I'm an international level yoga player. I'm a district level chess player. I'm a state level basketball player. Last year, I was awarded as the finalist for CMX professional category and for the Global Women in Tech. And I have spoken at more than 200 places or given more than 200 talks in public. So that was a little bit about myself. And yeah, that's all I wanted to share about myself. And now I'm going to speak more about Firebase and Flutter. So, what is Flutter? So, what Google has done is it's given you a toolkit so that you can use it to build apps for multiple platforms. So, you have everything ready from Google. You just have to integrate the right blocks together, customize it as per your own needs. Sometimes you may add your own blocks as well if required, and then you can make end to end applications. It's a portable toolkit because it supports iOS, Android, web, Windows, Mac operating system, Linux, and embedded, 7 different platforms with a single code base. So once you write a code in Flutter, you can deploy it on 7 different platforms using the same code that you've written for a particular platform. But obviously, if you want to make some platform specific changes, for example, if you want your application to work a little differently on web platform than a mobile platform, you can actually specify those changes in Flutter. And what are the Flutter's foundational pillars are it's fast because there are features like hot reload where if you make some changes in any function outside the main function, you can easily check those changes on your emulator or physical device wherever you're running the application. And it saves a lot of time where developer doesn't have to stand by till the application is getting compiled and then run. It's productive. The lines of code have immensely reduced in Flutter, and hence developer can write more lines of code in the same day, and hence they find it productive. It's beautiful. Designers specifically vouch for Flutter because they can actually give creative ideas, can specify different fonts and colors, and all of that can be easily implemented with Flutter. It's open. Flutter has existence over all the communities over web and in person, and it's open for everyone to join. Right from GitHub, Stack Overflow, pub.dev, Medium, YouTube, in-person meetups, to anything else. Stack Overflow, I don't know if I mentioned about it, but all of that is open for everyone who's interested in joining, and it's portable. So once you write your code in a single platform, then you can deploy it on 7 different platforms. Now the question is, what is Firebase? So Firebase helps you build and run successful apps. We have Brijraj here, who's a Google developer expert in Firebase, and he's the best person to talk about it. And I'm thankful he chose me to also talk about it. But telling you in brief what Firebase is, Firebase helps you build and run successful applications. So it offers you a lot of services and integrations that can make your apps become a success. And few of those services are Firebase helps you build better apps. So you can authorize a user to use your application using Firebase. You can host your website using Firebase. You can apply some functions like cloud functions, machine learning to your applications using the Firebase services. You can add backend to your application using real-time database and cloud storage and cloud Firestore. You can improve your app quality by integrating crash analytics, so you can check which exact screen is where the user is crashing the application. You can check the performance, which is the screen where user is spending more time, which is the screen which is taking more time to load on user end. So you can improve your app quality and enhance the user experience. And then you can grow your app, so you can create dynamic links so that a person can refer their friend. You can incentivize those people who are sharing the application within their network. You can add analytics to monitor different performance factors for your application. You can integrate cloud messaging. You can send local notifications, push notifications. You can do A/B testing, all using Firebase. So it offers a lot of features and not necessarily use all the services to make your app robust, but you can choose based on your project requirements what suits you the best and integrate it in your application. Now comes the topic, how can I marry Flutter with Firebase? This has been a topic that's super close to my heart because I have enjoyed tremendously as a software developer integrating Firebase with Flutter even when it was in beta stage. And I have few articles on Medium which have got tremendous viewership since then because not many people at that time knew how to integrate Flutter with Firebase. So these are the 4 services I definitely recommend all of you to try in case you haven't tried already. One is Firebase authentication. So authenticating a user using phone number login, Gmail login, Facebook, GitHub, or any other third party authorization can be managed using Firebase authorization. Firebase database, so you can add database to your application. Flutter will give you the front end to your application. To add backend, you can use the database services that is offered by Firebase. And you can also use Firebase storage. So if you want to store some of the users' data and accordingly provide them some recommendations, or provide them some inputs, you can do that as well using Firebase storage. Or you will get a lot of data from your users, and if you want to manage all that data on your server side, that can be managed using Firebase. And Firebase messaging, so you can connect with your customers and send messages to them, in-app messages to them using Firebase messaging. And this is going to be a homework for all of you. So you may want to take a screenshot of this slide and try how to integrate at least these 4 services. A few prerequisites for all of you. If you're going to try the integration of Flutter with Firebase, install your preferred IDE. You can either install VS Code or Android Studio or Xcode. It can be any editor you are comfortable with. Make sure you have downloaded Flutter based on your system configuration and installed it on your local machine. Once you've done that, make sure the Flutter app that you're building targets the following platform: iOS 10 version iOS 10 or later, or Mac operating system 10.12. And then you may want to see the performance. Once you start integrating Flutter with Firebase, you want to run the output. So you can either have a physical device, or you can have an emulator. Some of you may not have high-end machines, and hence emulator may take some system RAM. So go with a physical device, so it's easier for you to install the application on your local phone and then test the application. For all the other Firebase products, you can either use a physical iOS operating system or an iOS simulator, and then install Firebase and sign into Firebase using your Google account. These are a few steps which are required for you to get started with Flutter and Firebase. You may not have built apps with Flutter in the past, so just in case you haven't done that, there is a link which is there for all of you. I'm going to share that offline with everyone so that you can create a test app, and then you can integrate Firebase to your application. Now, there are 6 steps which I'm going to explain in detail on how you can implement Flutter with Firebase. So first of all, create a Firebase project. Before you can add Firebase to your Flutter app, you need to create a Firebase project to connect to your application. So again, there's a link. I'm going to share the slide deck offline with all of you, so you can actually visit the link and try these features. So try to understand how you can add Firebase to your Flutter projects. Okay. Then the next step is register your app with Firebase. So what you need to do is, in the center of the so once you log in with Firebase, you will see a project overview. You need to create a new project and then click on the iOS icon to set the workflow for iOS. So you need to add separate integrations for individual platforms. So if you're adding Firebase for iOS, you need to make a workflow separately. If you're doing it for Android, you need to do that as well separately. And if you're doing it for web, that's again what you need to manage separately when you're working with Firebase. These are very small steps, may not take much time of yours. So don't worry, it's just copy paste commands, and you won't be stuck as long as you follow the steps correctly. Once you click on the iOS button, then enter your apps bundle ID. Where you find your apps bundle ID is in your project on Xcode. Go to the top level project navigator in the general tab, and there you will find bundle identifier. And this is where you will find the iOS bundle ID for your app. It's something like com.yourcompanyname.ios hyphen app hyphen name. You may not have a company right now, so it could be your own name. So it can be com.nikita.ios hyphen app name as test app. Then this is an optional step for you to follow. What you need to do is add an app nickname. It's totally up to you. If you don't want to add, you can skip this step, and I usually skip this step. App Store ID. So you can this is basically needed when you're using the dynamic links feature, and it is used to redirect the users to the app store. So just when you want to take the users directly from your app to the app store, and then you want the user to install the application, this is required. So it's optional. If you're not using dynamic links feature in your application, then you may skip this step. And in the end, once you finish this workflow, just click register app. So now the third step is click on the Google, download Google service in file info.p.list to obtain your Firebase Apple Platforms config file. So you will be taken to a next screen where you will see a button in blue color which says download Google service -info.plist. You can download your Firebase Apple Platforms config file again anytime, just in case you happen to delete it. You can come here and download the file again, and make sure the config file is not appended with additional characters like 1 2. So usually when we download the file multiple times, we end up downloading it in 1 2 3 4 format. So make sure that's not there. Edit it if it's there in your application. And note that the Firebase config file contains unique but not secret identifiers for your project. So there is nothing secret that is stored in this, but it has unique identifiers which will make your project unique out of lakhs of projects that are there on Firebase and Play Store. And using hex code, move to the runner directory of your Flutter app. So wherever your project is, go to the runner directory, and this is where you're going to paste this Google service -info.plist, and then go to the Firebase console again, click on next and complete the remaining steps. That's all. You're now all set to add Flutter Fire plugins to your application. So moving on to the fourth step of this session, what you need to do is since Flutter is a multi-platform SDK, each Flutter plugin is applicable for both Apple and Android platforms. So if you want to add Flutter Fire plugin to your app, it will be used by both Apple and Android versions of your app. This plugin which you're going to add to your Flutter application in your Flutter IDE, that can be used for both Android and iOS. So what you need to do is there are a lot of plugins available. You can just search for Flutter Fire plugins. Based on your needs and service you decide to integrate with your application. You can choose that particular API that you want to integrate. And then I'm going to tell you what code you need to add to your application so that you can complete your code and deploy it. So Firebase is accessed through a number of libraries, and one of them is real-time database, authentication, analytics, or cloud storage. So Flutter provides a set of Firebase plugins which are collectively called as Flutter Fire. So just in case you're talking about Flutter and Firebase, this is the website you don't want to miss on reading, because it has ample of documentation and use cases for you to try out. So what you need to do is go to your Flutter application on your IDE, go to the pubspec.yaml file, and there is where you need to add the dependency for your Firebase application. So just add this small line Firebase underscore and the latest Firebase version that is available. In case you add the deprecated version, the browser may indicate to you directly on Android Studio specifically that this is a deprecated version. Do you want to upgrade it with the latest one? So just the line that you see, Firebase underscore core hyphen 4.09 is what is available recently, but you may upgrade it with the latest version as well. And the last step is add dependency to your application. So if you're adding Google Analytics as a feature to your application, then just add this dependency. Where you need to add this is under the dependencies tab where you added Firebase core. Just below that, add Firebase underscore analytics and the latest version of Google Analytics. And if you're using Firebase authorization, then add Firebase auth and its latest version. And if you're adding Cloud File Store, then add the latest version for that as well. Once you're done with this, just all you need to do is run the Flutter packages. Just go to your Flutter IDE, click on run. All of these services will be pulled to your application. So now your system is trying to access those APIs, and they are getting integrated with your Flutter application. Once this is done, you're all set to call these APIs in respective locations of your app. So let's say you want to add authorization at the start screen on the login screen. You can just call this API on the start screen and you're done. It's as simple as that. Just with 6 steps, you're able to integrate Firebase with Flutter. So the next steps for you is take a look at the Flutter Fire plugins that are available. Get a hands-on experience with a code lab which is there, which is called as Firebase Flutter Code Lab, and prepare to launch your app. Set budget alerts if you're going to make this an enterprise level application. If you're planning to bring in thousands of users for your app, this is important. Else you can skip this step. And you can monitor the billing dashboard. You won't be billed up to an extent. It's free for a certain set of users. So don't need to worry about it in case you're a student and you don't know where to bring funds from. Yeah, that's a little bit that you need to do. And if you just got to know what Flutter and Firebase is and you're excited to explore more, you can check out the code labs of Flutter that are available. There are tons of articles available on Medium. There is Medium community for Flutter, and there is Flutter's official channel on Medium, so you can try both of them. Explore Flutter's documentation, Firebase official documentation, and a lot of videos that are available. These are a few recommended resources. Apart from that, there are a lot of GDEs like MTech Viral, Tardus Petra, who build amazing content, and you may want to explore all of that. So just go to Google, search what you want to do, and there is a lot of material now available or developed by the community for you to reference with. Cool. I hope you found this session insightful and interesting, and I hope you are all excited to try Flutter with Firebase. If you have any questions, we can take those if the organizers allow me for a minute or two. And then I have something exciting to announce. You just saw the screen, but I'm going to tell you more about the giveaway. Okay. So the question is, can you tell me the difference between dependencies and dev dependencies? So the developer dependencies are where something that the developer needs to add and the application won't compile without the developer adding those to your application. And dependencies are basically those APIs, plugins, or any third-party libraries that you're adding to your application, without which your application won't functional completely, is dependencies. Cool. Any other questions? Keep them coming in the chat section. I'm around and would love to take a few more if there are any. Thank you, Amanpreet. All right. I guess there are no other questions, but I have something exciting to announce. It's a giveaway alert. So, top three projects that you will be building using Flutter and Firebase get a T-shirt from my end. Each project gets one T-shirt from my side. But there are a few prerequisites and conditions to apply. The project needs to start from today to 27th of April. You have 1 month's time to try Flutter with Firebase and 4 screens using Flutter for your application and 3 Firebase plugins. The last date to submit your project is 20th April. Once your project is complete, you can reach out to the organizers on their alias GDG Jalandhar at gmail.com or WTM Jalandhar at gmail.com, and they'll get back to you with your shipping details thereafter. Make sure your repository is open on GitHub because we are going to thoroughly review that once you complete the project. And I really look forward to seeing who all get the t-shirt from my side. So yeah, all the best for all of those who are planning to participate. In case your friends are not here, let them know about this challenge as well. It's going to be interesting to see what all problems you solve using Flutter and Firebase, and I look forward to seeing your projects. Well, I hope you enjoyed the session. You found it insightful and interesting. In case you have something to share, don't forget to reach out to me on Twitter. @Nikita Gandhi is my Twitter handle. And all the best for your future endeavors, and wishing all the lovely women attending this session today and the male allies who are contributing to the DNI efforts a very happy International Women's Day. And thank you for standing up for yourselves and supporting more women in tech. Special kudos to Varsha, who's been consistently contributing to the community as a Women Techmakers ambassador, who have been into a lot of ups and downs, but she never failed to stick to her community. So, a special kudos to her, and Vrijraj, who's been a consistent ally in her journey with GDG and Women Techmakers Jalandhar. And also Shivram, Bharat, Bachu, you all, Sonakshi, you all have been amazing contributors to the community and make it complete. Without you, this community wouldn't have been 11,000 members strong. So kudos to all of you for all the efforts that you do for the community, and all the best for the future sessions and your endeavors.
Thank you very much, Nikita ma'am, for such a lovely insights and for such amazing and kind words about the community. Like, we are very inspired from your activities. Since our past events, we have seen a lot of activities from you, and our audience feel very more energetic and enthusiastic. And yes, definitely they will participate in this giveaway and your homework activity too. And it was really amazing listening to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shivram.
And next, we have Laksha Shivaramakrishnan, who will be taking a session on crafting a compelling resume. She is a technical program manager at Google, and she was also community manager for WTM India. And she also received Women in AI Leadership Award by Analytics India magazine. Over to you, Laksha.
Hello everyone, I am Lakshya Shivram Krishnan and I work as a technical program manager at Google. I am here to talk to you about what it takes to craft a compelling resume. So here we go. Let's begin with a question, right? How much time do you think recruiters spend in reading a resume? Think about it. I've heard answers such as 10 minutes, 5 minutes, but you will be surprised to know that on an average, recruiters spend about 6 seconds in reviewing one's resume. That makes it important for us to understand why our resume is so important. A couple of reasons to start with. Your resume is your first interaction with the company. They haven't seen you before, they don't know about you, and your resume could be the first time they even read your name, right? So you want to be making sure that you put forward the best representation of you in front of the recruiters. Your resume also lets the company know on how they should be contacting you. Ensure to include your contact information like your email ID and phone number, and that makes it easy for the recruiters to get in touch with you. Your resume should also highlight some of your biggest accomplishments and skill sets. Because the company won't know unless you tell. So this is your chance to show off all your amazing accomplishments and what your skill sets are. Remember, if it's based on facts, it is not bragging. So ensure you include all relevant information that is required for you to get past the screening rounds, the resume screening round. The resume also lets the company know on if you would be a potential good fit for a role, right? So ensure that you include all relevant information that is necessary for a particular role. Lastly, we know that this is often the first step of any interview process. So a polished, well-written, accurate resume is almost certain that it will land you to the next step in the interview process. Let's try this out. I want you to consume this slide. Let's try another one. Most of us consume this slide in the order in which the slide describes the information. Why do you think this happens? This happens because mostly people scan and don't read. A 2008 study concluded that on an average, only 28% of the text on screen is read, right? And there have been multiple eye tracking visualizations that confirm that users often read website content in an F-shaped pattern. What does that mean? Two horizontal stripes followed by a vertical stripe. And this is why we want to ensure that our value proposition is always on the top of the page, right? If you see multiple websites always put their menu either horizontal or top horizontal or left vertical. This is the reason why they do so, right? With this point, let's move to looking at a sample resume and learn from it on some of the positives and some of the improvement opportunities. So here's a resume of Hans Solo, and let's begin with some of the positives, right? So if you see on screen, Hans Solo has listed his programming languages that he's aware of in the order of proficiency. So here he says that he's the most proficient in C# and the least proficient in SQL. He's ensured to include all post-secondary institutions that he's attended, his areas of study, and since he's still in college, he's ensured that his education section appears first before experience. Now let's talk about some of the improvement opportunities on how Han could improve his resume. Here, the contact information seems to be incomplete because it does not have a phone number or an email address. And often, these two pieces of information are critical for the recruiters to reach out to you. Additionally, you could also choose to add your LinkedIn profile or your GitHub profile, which sort of tells about all your contributions in either the open source world or some of the projects that you've been part of in your institution. Han has also missed his graduation date, right? And sometimes this information is important because it lets the recruiter know whether you're a good fit for an internship opportunity or a full-time opportunity. Moving on to Han's experience. Again, let's start with the positives. He is listed his experience second, right after education, because he's still in college. He's also listed in experience in chronological order, which means his most recent experience appears first, right? And each of this has his title, the company, and the date of employment listed. Now let's see how we can improve this section, right? Firstly, he could do a better job in formatting. If you see, he has put the duration of work right next to the company's name, making it sort of cluttered, and it's good to ensure that your readability is taken care of while writing your resume. So one thing you could do is choose to put the dates in the farthermost right, so that it's and be consistent across each of those projects that you're going to be listing out, right? You will also notice that the description, the activities are listed out in paragraphs, right? It is not reader friendly, and hence the best thing to do would be to probably use bullet points, right? Ensure you use action words like created, designed, debugged, to ensure that there's more focus on the impact and the results, and you ensure that a clear list of metrics are listed rather than a long long list of description, verbose descriptions, right? Also, he has listed one of the experiences that's not really relevant to this particular work experience, right? So Han Solo being, having walked Wookiees is not really relevant to the type of role that he's looking for. The next set of sections is about Han's activities and reference sections. Let's start with the positives. He's included his activities. He's told us that he participates in programming competitions, but what is it that he could have done better? Right? Although he's included all these various activities, this is clearly not reader friendly, right? How do we make it reader friendly? Again, use bullet points. References section is not really needed in a resume until explicitly asked for. So if you really want to put a reference section, you can say that references can be made available on request, right? So these are some of the things that we could incorporate in our resume to make it a great one. Like they say that a good resume will inform, but a great resume will stand out. Through the rest of the talk, here are some of the things that we would reflect upon. What do interviewers expect to see in our resume? What is it that we should write in our resume? How long should our resume be? And what will really the interviewers focus on while reading our resume? Let me begin by saying that integrity is everything, right? So ensure that you have the right content with the right context, and that will ensure that we all stand a better chance of landing an interview. Ensure that everything that you write on your resume is true, right? So what really goes into a good resume? Focus on some of these sections, right? Ensure you have the right contact information. Ensure you talk about your experience and projects, your educational qualifications, your skill sets and accomplishments, and any extracurricular or additional information that you want to share. What we'll do now is dive deep into each of these sections, and let me share with you a few tips that would help you craft a very good resume for yourself. So before I move into the resume tips, I just want to call out that each of these are only only a guideline which ensures that we all perfect our resumes, right? This is not something that is set in stone, but some of the best practices and some of the tips have been compiled through a lot of experience that that people have shared, right? So ensure that you use this as a guideline and not really like a rule book. So here are some of the general tips that I want to share, right? Any recruiter who is consuming your resume should ensure that they find all the relevant, pertinent information very easily and quickly. Couple of things to note. Your resume could be in any format, PDF, HTML or Microsoft Word. I would highly recommend PDF formats. That's personally my favorite. Ensure that the format is very clean, simple, concise, consistent. Use as many bullet points as possible. Like I said, try and use as many action words like created, designed, debugged. Just one search and you would get a list of very powerful action words that can be used in your resume. Focus on your results and impact and list metrics rather than talking about really long descriptions on what you have done. Ensure you include your contact information, your email ID, any GitHub or open source projects that you've contributed to. Generally, resumes are preferred to be in 1 page long, and don't really include reference sections unless and you can always say a caveat saying I can provide references on request, right? When it comes to experience, ensure that each of the points that you say are very clear and concise. Make sure that you highlight your accomplishments using bullet points instead of making it too verbose. Keep them in chronological order, which means your most recent experience first. A very powerful framework to really describe your impact is this framework that I've listed here, right? Either you can frame your bullet points in this format. To achieve X, I did Y, which resulted in Z. Another way to put this together is I accomplished X as measured by Y by doing Z. So this really tells on what is it that you achieved, what is the metrics that you were able to achieve and how did you do it, right? So this sort of is a very powerful framework to describe your work with its impact and results, all in one statement. Moving on to your experience, unless you're in college, your experience, your education is your second section after experience. Ensure that anything after your secondary education, that is after your class 12, is listed on your resume. Ensure each of the degrees that you mention are consistent. Mention the degree, your graduation date, your your percentage or GPA if applicable. If you're looking to provide some some of the courses that you've taken, feel free to add them there. Any important projects that you've that are really noteworthy calling out, feel free to do that. And if you're applying for a technical role, ensure that you list down the programming languages that you're proficient in, right? And so these are a few tips on education. What's next? The next is extracurriculars, right? And this is somewhere where you can say what is it that really sets you apart, right? So have you been part of community or student groups, especially in anything holding leadership position, right? Like, have you been a community organizer anywhere? Have you participated in coding and hackathon competitions? Have you received any awards or scholarships as part of your university? Do you have any publications, papers or patents that are really worth calling out? Have you participated in national and global conferences, right? Any impressive achievements that you want to call out, here is a section that you can list out, right? So these are some generic tips, but if there's any key takeaways that I would like you to leave the session with, it is this, right? Firstly, let's talk about format. Ensure that your entire resume is simple, it has consistent design, font size and spacing, right? Because these are little things that we often overlook, but this can make a world of difference in terms of the recruiter consuming the content on our resume. Try and use readable ink, right? Use black or blue. Format, I would highly recommend the format of the resume to be a PDF, right? because that's uneditable. Moving to content, ensure your email ID and contact information appears on the top. You really don't have to include objective statements. Instead, you could choose to add a summary if you're really interested, and you don't need to include any references. Moving on to the length of the resume, it's best to keep it one page, at max 2 page. Ensure to include anything that's specific and relevant to the role that you're applying for. Use bullet points and ensure that they are consistent in terms of formatting. Please refrain from using long paragraphs, and always have one or two friends actually go through your resume and check for typos or any grammatical errors that may have come up. Now, a very interesting take is, mostly for any professional role that we're looking to apply for, we put forward our formal resume. But I've seen this trend of a lot of folks also having a creative resume. This is something that you can upload on LinkedIn, something that you can put on your website, right? So these are two formats in which you can make your resume. So with that, thank you so much. Feel free to reach out to me for any questions. You can reach out to me at lakshashivramkrishnan.in. Thank you so much for your time, and hope you all have a great time in crafting a compelling resume for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lakshya ma'am, for sharing your wonderful tips and insightful thoughts about resume and motivating us to use these amazing industry standards while crafting our resumes. Without further delay, I now introduce our next speaker, Rijraj Singh, our GDG Jalandhar organizer, and he is also a Google developer expert for Firebase and web technologies. Over to you, Rich.
Hello everyone, this is Richard, and I'm an organizer for GDG Jalandhar and Google Developer Expert for Web Technology and Firebase. So first of all, I would like to thanks to everyone for your continuous support in the community, whether we as a team, whether as a community member for attending our meetup, or maybe it's related to your collective feedback. Based on your feedback, we are improving our developer ecosystem in our community. So thank you so much everyone for your continuous efforts. And also, I would like to share that IWD India International Women's Day India Summit 2020 is happening on April 2nd and 3rd in 2022, and you can join this IWD India Summit via this link bit.ly/IWD India hyphen 2020 hyphen Jalandhar, or you can directly reach out to the website IWD India. Here we have a list of amazing speakers and the schedule. You can check out the schedule. You can register for the IWD India. The next one part is the tech drill. So at GDG WTM Jalandhar, we started this initiative named as Tech Drill to help our community members to continue their journey in terms of learning from anywhere. So this initiative aims to provide 7 days of training on various technologies like Flutter, ML, Firebase, machine learning, from basic to advanced level to hone their skills. We hosted this initiative in year 2021 on multiple developers, technologies like Flutter, Firebase, Android, and so many things. And we got an amazing feedback from our community member, and we are starting this initiative once again from upcoming month. To know more about this initiative, we have a website, and you can visit the website tactile.gdgjalandhar.com, and here we will post our upcoming meetups related to Tactile initiative. And also, I would like to give you share, like, you will get an email regarding IWD India, IWD Jalandhar for the feedback, and your feedback will help us to improve the developer ecosystem in upcoming meetups. And there are a lot of things. And you can also share your experience about the GDG meetups or maybe WTM meetups on a social media with the hashtag GDG Jalandhar or WTM Jalandhar. The next is I Am Remarkable workshop, and which will be taken by the Varsha. She is a Women Tech Makers ambassador for Jalandhar and GDG organizer for Jalandhar. And for that, you will get an email in your Gmail box. Just check out the mail, and we will start the sessions from 6:15 p.m. And you can directly go to the Google Meet, and then we can start the sessions. So yeah, so thank you so much everyone for attending this entire meet or the event name is in IWD India Jalandhar. So thank you so much for everyone for your continuous support. Yeah, stay tuned and bye and see you in the meet session of I Am Remarkable workshops.